My mother is cheating on my father and I don't know what to do. I thought maybe posting here would be helpful. So the setup is: my 21 mother, 41, is cheating on my father, 51, and I am the only one who knows of it. I had my suspicions like a year ago, because she would be calling people a lot and she would speak with them in English. We are a foreign family and most of the time she uses her native language when she talks to family and her friends. And every time I would enter her room while she was talking/texting, she would hide her phone. But these were only suspicions, there was no real evidence. Until one day. She told me to book a hotel for her and her girlfriends. And while showing me the hotel in a text chat, she tried to hide the name of the person who sent the hotel. I managed to peek the name, a male name. He sent her a link to a hotel with the message: "Let's stay at this one." When I saw it, my whole world crumbled. We all are a very religious family, so thinking that is a possibility is out of this world for me. Not only that, she is using me, her child, to book this trip. I did not know what to do, so I played along and tried to look normal. Some days went by, and she went out with her friends. A day before the trip, she came home at like 4 a.m., and when she did I was awake. I heard her go to the bathroom and leaving it. Betting everything on this, I went to the bathroom and locked the door. And as I thought, she left her phone behind. I guessed the passcode, my birth year, and searched for evidence. And then I found the chat with the man. I couldn't believe my eyes. They were texting like a couple in their honeymoon phase. And she called my father, her husband, an uncle. And that's why he couldn't come up. Not only that, she didn't go out with friends, she went out with him. I couldn't believe it, and before I could send the evidence to my phone, she knocked at the door. I opened it and gave her my phone. A couple of hours later she went to her vacation with him and I am just devastated. What should I do? My father is the purest soul on this earth. He kills himself at work so we can have a goof life. And he wears always the nicest smile on his face. He never touched us kids, let alone my mother. Should I tell him? What about my sister? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Comment. If you do not tell your father and he finds out that she's cheating, that you knew, and that you didn't tell him, he's likely going to feel like you've taken your mother's side and have betrayed him. Is that what you want? That's bullshit. If dad is such an amazing person, he wouldn't blame his son or expect him to get in the middle of it. Whether you approve of the reaction or not and whether it's fair or not isn't the point. It's not difficult to find infidelity stories where it happens. I wish I caught this earlier. Dude. Keep it to yourself. You can let your mother know you know, but that's it. Stop being dramatic and accept that this kind of stuff happens. Next story 2. Do you guys think she cheated on me? Should I prepare for the worst? This is a bit messy, but me and my girlfriend are currently long distance as she left for her hometown for an engineering program. No, I am not nervous about men that she will meet there, it's the hometown. TBH, I was a little bit taken back about her history last summer in the hometown and I pretty much told her that those dudes will be waiting for you when you get back, to be honest with me, and that I would hope she just stayed cleared of her ex-flings and fuck buddies as she's taken. Anyway, we ended up getting into a fight as one of them offered to help with some computer programming project. He's a 26-year-old engineer, so she wanted him to do it for him. She asked to meet up in a library and proceeded to say to go to his hotel. Why was he in a hotel near the program? I have no clue. She then told me about the ordeal and I reacted poorly, because I was mad that she asked him to help in the first place and didn't even tell me. From her reaction, she totally broke down and I realized I may have fucked up. I don't know, I feel like I'm right to be uncomfortable with these guys lurking like this. Anyway, like 3 days later we were on bad terms as she was crying a lot. She went out with friends and then I get a text of her very upset. I wanted not to make any big deal about her going out, because I didn't want to have her hysterically crying like that. Anyway, she texted me that this other dude who she had a FWB relationship with miraculously pulled up to the party. I told her that he will try advance and kept the whole uncomfortable part to myself because at that point I figured if it happens then it happens. Later she did call me and said that he asked how school was and that they danced and he was respectful. Whatever, so the next day she goes on a house trip with her friend group and that guy is there. At this point, I called her up and told her that this is absolutely crazy. How could you go on trip without even letting me know for that weekend with him there? Maybe this was a mistake, but I told her I think she is putting our relationship in jeopardy either on purpose or subconsciously so she can cheat out of our relationship. She got very upset, which isn't in my favor. I called her up like 4 times at 5 a.m. and she texted me back that I am waking everyone up. I texted her cheating whore out of anger and she texted me that was it was over because I called her a whore. I texted her, you wanted to end the relationship but you couldn't. So you did the cowardly thing and forced it? In the morning, she texted me I am sorry for being a bitch last night. She said she was angry at me and didn't want to speak with me. Before you say anything I have to tell you something, but let me tell you everything. Last night, I got very drunk and was really upset about us and went outside to talk to some friends. That guy asked me what was wrong, and I started crying and then started to kiss me while I was talking. I pushed him to stop and he got upset and brushed me off. I was mad that I couldn't just talk to him and you were right about him. I didn't cheat out of the relationship. I literally told her that I don't like being right because all of this BS is so toxic for me. And that's where I'm at. Everyone thinks it's a believable story. I find it still to be disrespectful and honestly, I don't know whether I want to continue. I'm sure we can make up and break through this. I probably should not have called a whore, but I really would hate if I continue just to get it. I have to tell you something. It's one of those cases where maybe she doesn't tell me the whole truth because we are breaking up soon. That's how I feel. At the same token, that does happen. I couldn't believe it. I don't know, I feel sick. Maybe it's best to keep a cool head. If she chooses to end the relationship then maybe that would be a sign. I don't want to force a breakup, especially now with this asshat lurking around. TLDR, my long-distance girlfriend went to her hometown for an engineering program and I got upset when she asked an ex-fling for help without telling me. Later, she went to a party where another past fling showed up, but she assured me nothing happened. When she went on a trip with friends, including the same guy, without telling me, we had a big argument and I called her a name. She later confessed that the guy kissed her but she pushed him away, leaving me unsure about the relationship's future. Comment. Seriously, the pair of you need to grow up and learn how to actually communicate. You need to stop assuming you know everything, shouting and texting words like whore. She needs to figure out if someone who's constantly on at her is even worth the effort. She's 18 and barely an adult, you're 5 years older, start acting like it. No idea how long y'all have been together, but I'd say this has ran its course. Even if she comes back and y'all make up, you're still going to be going over this shit in your head. Always wondering if more did happen because chances are higher that you never will know the full truth. I don't know about you, but that's no way I would want to spend my days. This is toxic for both of you and is inevitably going to end badly. Honestly, given the tone of this and how young you both are, I think it is in both of y'all's best interest to separate and maybe take some time for working on yourselves. I would say it's best not to even remain friends, but that's up to you both in the end. She probably cheated at the party and there. This was all intentional. It's gonna keep happening. She isn't magically gonna wake up one day and say, I'm a one-guy girl. She likes the attention. She hid the fact he was there for a reason. She likely knew he was going to the party the day before the trip, because he was planning to go on the trip. Why would she go to a hotel and meet a guy about programming? There are tons of things to do in a hotel besides programming. Next story 3. Cheating GF after 7 years. So found out my girlfriend of 7 years was cheating with a guy I considered to be a friend. I had been going out to football on Wednesday nights, and she used to come with me. But eventually she started to tell me she didn't want to go, and was going to chill in the house. I thought nothing of it. Around the same time she stopped going, the friend who used to be at football with us stopped going. Strange timing, I thought, but never really got into it. Over the next few weeks and months this pattern continued, only I noticed them speaking a lot more over text. One day we were sat together, and I seen his message pop up. He said, "We defo need to try that again." I quizzed her on this. She said she didn't know what he meant. I was starting to get really suspicious. He was starting to appear at our house more. He was becoming a lot more involved. One night I noticed bruises on her legs and ass. She was always rough, but I knew it weren't from me. So one night I was waited about after I left for football, and 10 minutes after I left his car arrived. I waited about 5 to 10 minutes before going back into the house and went in quietly. I got up the stairs and they were in bed together. They didn't notice me and kept going. I left her the next day. Comment: you did the right thing leaving her. Just stick to your decision when she start begging, crying, and then blaming you. But you need to tell your friends before she flip the script and it's your fault because you're abusive or cheating. You are a better man than me. I would have yanked him out of bed, opened the door with his head, and tossed him outside. As for her, I would have told her to pack a bag and get out. Kudos to you for how you handled it. I bet you now think back and realize there were other changes in behavior that you just dismissed as oddities of a normal relationship. We just do not realize what we are witnessing. Heck, we don't even know what the possible signs of infidelity might even be. No one on the face of this freaking planet is ever always going to be above all suspicions. Blind trust is just being blind. Trust is fine, but always be ready and able to simply verify. This sub does not allow for web-based links to articles on cheating. Partly because the sub is not about helping with cheating. It is about the enjoyment some derive from reading of others' misery. So I suggest we all do research on the signs of infidelity. One article lists more than 50 signs. And if you are thinking it could never happen to you, you really should think again. We all thought the same things, much to our chagrin. Cheating over a lifetime is now seen to be at or above 50% for all couples. If I only knew then, what I know now, I could have had a fighting chance of stopping it. 20/20's hindsight. But any insight beats none. Just like prevention beats all amounts of cure every time. Look it up and start thinking if you might be missing the obvious. Sorry for your loss.